It was last I saw you, and then I see you last yesterday. Um, as promised, since we were talking about invasive species, um, wanted to wanted to talk about an invasive species to Georgia. So we are looking at effects of kudzu. All right, Ariana, I see that you have Ariana, and yes, I see that you've done it, but you didn't do the biodiversity. So please work on that because that is due. All righty. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, so let me come out of this. Again, on your home page under things to do, you should see the assignment for, I'm trying to pull this up so that I'm viewing it from your point of view. Okay. All right, so on your home page, two things that are due. If you haven't done the biodiversity case study, that is due. Or almost due. It's due on Friday, but you can get it knocked out of the way. All right, so what's due today is this short story here. So these are the three questions that you need to answer about kudzu. I checked with Mr. Phillips yesterday that you might not see it in Columbus City per se, but if you've ever been anywhere outside, just along some of the roads extending out, you would have seen kudzu. But the picture kind of demonstrates just how it is overgrowing other plant species. So please talk about, so it is worth 12 points, so give it 12 points worth an answer. Uh, don't just kind of give me a definition and move on. So talk about, especially on how it's affecting our ecosystem. What is it doing to the plants that it's overtaking? Because obviously you can see that it overtakes plants that are there. What is the effect on the species that it's overtaking? All right, so talk about what is it? Why did they bring it to the United States, and how did it become so invasive in Georgia? And what is the effects? So in order to talk about how it becomes invasive, you got to talk about how it grows. Okay, so like I said, don't give it a once over, give it a thoughtful AP environmental thought. And again, if you finish that early today, make sure that your other assignment is also turned in. Okay, so everybody's good. I'm gonna stop sharing the assignments so that I can do attendance. And I think I said this yesterday as far as housekeeping is concerned. I do appreciate all of you who come to class on time. After 5 minutes, I'm going to do attendance. Once I get you all started, I do attendance. And after that, you're late. You're either marked absent or you're late. So I do appreciate you coming within the first 5 minutes of class, and be aware that a lot of the issue we have with the grades is that Canvas, if it's a late grade, while I accepted the late assignment, once I graded it, Canvas kind of deleted or kind of negated the the grade because it was late. Canvas automatically takes certain points off for each day it is late once a due date is submitted. So you want to make sure that you stay on top of that. For example, the biodiversity case study that you're working on now, after Friday, it will be marked late and it'll start taking points off. And this, now that we're past the first initial 9 weeks, I'm not going to take the late off of it anymore. So I've been taking the late off, and so that a grade shows up. That's not going to happen the next 9 weeks. So make sure that assignments are turned in when they're due, and everybody will get the grade that they deserve. Um, it also automatically puts a 0 in. When as soon as the assignment is marked, has a due date, as soon as you miss that due date, it automatically puts the 0 in. So that's not me giving you a 0. That's it. The grade book automatically putting a 0 in once an assignment due date has passed. So make sure that you, again, get things in before the due date. Biodiversity is due by Friday. I think you can get it finished before Friday because we're not going to spend class time on it. We are going on in class about it. So make sure that you get it done before Friday. So today, again, make sure this assignment is kind of short. So you should be able to get this one done today. And then if you have extra time, work on your biodiversity case study. If you have any questions, ask, ask, ask. Miss Martin asked me to remind you, I think she's going to send out a general notice that she would like all of you to take the AP exam. It's free for you. It won't cost you anything. So she would like for you to consider taking the exam. Okay. All right. And one other thing, y'all do need to stay on camera. Got a couple of people, I'm looking at the ceiling. I have no semblance of whether you're in the room or not. So please stay on camera. Please stay on task. And again, try to write things in your own words. Do not just copy and paste a paragraph and stick it on there. Then you have no clue as to what you just copied and pasted up there. Being as kudzu is an invasive species, it comes up that you can use Google for a reference. Keep in mind, folks, that Google is a search engine. So when you want to cite your references, you can't say Google. You have to, Google takes you to a website. So you need to cite the website that you got your information from. It's not Google. Google is a search engine. But yes, you can look up, you can look this up. Definitely look it up. It's not going to be in Canvas. Canvas just generally talks about invasive species, but this is a particular, what I try to do is every time we talk about something, try to find a relevant reference in Georgia that you can be familiar with. Like I said earlier, I asked Mr. Phillips if this is something, because I'm in Georgia, but I'm not in Columbus. So I know when I go out, I see evidence of kudzu everywhere, but I don't know if that's what you see on a regular basis. So you could talk about where you have seen kudzu um, in your area. But definitely you can research the answer to the question. Yes. And again, please try to stay on topic. I could find something else. Because if you're already done with today's assignment, you barely answered it. Don't forget to mention why they brought it to, how to get to Georgia. Why did they bring it to Georgia? What was so interesting about this plant that they felt like they had to bring it to Georgia? Because it was brought here. Let me see what else to do. Okay, and if you finish this assignment early, you finish with both assignments, you can go ahead and look at the next unit, which is ecosystems 2.2, and be particularly looking at what is HIPCO. That'll be the next question. What is HIPCO? All right, because at the AP tip at the bottom, it says you will need to memorize what HIPCO stands for. Always look at the AP tips. You will need to memorize what HIPCO stands for. So go ahead and go forward and look at that. The AP tip for the unit that we're on now is to make sure that you know how humans affect the environment, and how that disruption affects biodiversity. Okay, so we're looking at one activity where a species was brought in, and we're looking at how it affects the biodiversity of that area, of our area in Georgia. So take a look at the question from that point of view. All right. Ethan, I very much like your conclusion to your biodiversity project. When I was in brick and mortar schools. I used to be one of those environmental teachers that always had fundraisers to save the rainforest. I have more rainforest t-shirts than I know what to do with right now because every year I led the fundraiser for the rainforest. Yeah. So one year we had a door decoration contest and we had a big tree outside the door and people made a donation, you got your name put on a leaf put on our tree on front of our door. So yes, I know you've done your biodiversity. That's why I'm reading your project and I'm saying I like your conclusion. I got one comment, but I'll put that in privately. But other than that, your conclusion is very good. Oh gosh. You're giving it away. Okay, time is just about up. I had hoped that you had finished this assignment because a lot of you now have two assignments that are due, this one and the biodiversity case study. Only two people have completed both. So please make sure that you stay on top of that and get those turned in. Uh, all right, so I will see you all on Friday, and we're going to go on to discussing HIPCO. So to make sure that we know what that is.